Hi everyone, welcome back to the craft room. We have recently got back from our walk this morning, which was a wet and muddy one. The dogs have been fed, had their feet washed, and are currently falling asleep here, so hopefully we might have a quiet time today. But the card today is inspired by our wet and muddy walk. This is a Colorado Craft Company stamp, and it is called All Is Bright, so it's a Christmas one, but it doesn't have to be, of course. So I am going to use this little dog, and he is going to be in a muddy puddle on there, and then I'm going to decide what else I want to put on here, if anything. And the sentiment might be just be nice, clean and simple with a matte layer. Colouring and alcohol markers, which I will run through the colours in a minute, but let me get this stamped first. So we'll put them off to one side, bring them up a little bit so that we've got room for the sentiment if I put one on. And he's going to be stamped in Memento, which is alcohol marker friendly. I'll do him again. Give that a couple of seconds to dry. So there he is. I'm going to colour him golden so that we can do some mud on him in brown, and this is going to be a watery puddle rather than carpet or whatever it was intended to be. So that's what we're going to do. Colours. For the mud, which I'll do last, I've got copper, military olive and chestnut brown, so just a few different ones just to do the mud with. For the dog, I've got moccasin, deep cream and yellow dahlia, and for his nose I have got a tea rose, and for the water I've got a pale greyish blue and a turquoise blue. So I'm going to do the dog first. I did a little swatch already, which I've got here. So let's start with 260. And I'm going to do anything that's low to the ground, which is where you'd have a shadow. So all along his back and his tail. Anything that's overlapping, which will be his paws. That little paw's overlapping as well. Give him a bit underneath his chin. A bit on his head there, I think. And we will do these lines where the illustrator has indicated a bit of shade, and a bit more on that one, which is in the back. So like that. And the next one is just it's not a lighter shade, but it is a bit of a different shade. I'm just going to do some little bits on here to indicate that he's not all just one colour. So I'm just going over some of the darker bits. So he's got a bit of variation on his fur. And then I've got a lighter one. Which I'll do a little bit more. Blend some of this in. And I'm just going to go back in and do some little dots here and there. So I don't want him to look like he's all one flat colour. So I'm going to pull out one more colour for the lightest area. So I've pulled out a primrose. So I'm just going to do a bit of this on the palest bits. And pop in his nose. I might go over with that as well. Or let me do a little bit of a brown that up a little bit. I don't want it dark though. So let's go with a bit of chamois. There we go. Might do a little bit of pink in his ears. Not that you can see them very much. So there's him. I'm going to do some water. So just give an indication of this being water. Oops. Dogs are awake and I've heard something, so they're off. And a bit of dark. Although I am going to put some mud there. So, mud. This is where it could all go wrong. So let's start with the copper. And I'm going to do some dots here. And that mud on his ear. And a bit of mud on his face. On his paws. I'll put some on his back paws as well. Something on his tail. I just want to do a little bit of variation, so just some dots of the darker one. So let's just put a bit more, and I want to do some blushes. So, there he is, rolling in the mud. That didn't take long. Okay, so pop that over there. I think we might end up with 2 cards today, guys. So I'm going to do a black matte layer. So let's have a look for a sentiment. Let's see what we've got here. I think we might do a big happy birthday and a little do what you love. I think that's what we're going to do. So let me get those 2 chopped out of there. Right, let me just do a matte layer for this and a card blank. Okay, so we're going to go like that, and we'll have a little happy birthday, do what you love. I'll put black matte layers around those, so let me just do that. So, do we want to do anything else on him? I don't think so. I might put a little bit of highlight on him before I put the sentiment down. So I'm just doing a little bit on his nose. A little bit on his tummy and leg. Tiniest bit on some of this mud. Bit in the water. bit jaunty, I think. Bit of a wonk. We might have them overlapping. Yeah, overlapping a little bit, I think. So let's get this one down first. Do that straight-ish. And then actually let's push him up a little bit. Oh no, that's stuck quick. Perhaps we won't push him up a little bit. So that's the first card. It didn't take long, so I'm going to make another one, and then I'll do a couple of envelopes at the end. So let's think about what else we can do. So let's do another card. We use the same stamp. I've got some masks that I did ages ago. So what I thought we'd do is use the dog and the cat. We'll do the dog in a different colour, so you can see him done in a different colour. And we'll do the cat. And the plan, let me get that mask off of there because we need that. Which one do we need? The cat. The plan is to have the cat sitting on the dog's belly like that. So we need to do a little bit of masking, but I've already got a mask made from the last time I used the set. So I've got black layer, white layer. So let's get this stamp first. So masking, if you haven't done it before, you want to stamp the thing that's going to be in front first. But we do need to line him up to see whereabouts he's going to go. So about there. I'll pop him in the middle a bit more. So I'll pick him up. Take that off for a minute. So stamp the cat first. So that's all right, he's done. So we need to get the mask and pop that on him. And then I'm going to get the dog and pop him there. I don't want to cover his feet. So about there, I think. And stamp him. Okay, let's just take this little mask off. There we go, a little cat sat on a dog's tummy. I pulled out, I was thinking I might do grass, but I'm not absolutely sure yet. But I've pulled out grass green and pale green if I do grass. For the dog, copper, reddish brass and dark suntan. And for the cat, cool grey 0, 4 and 7. I haven't pulled anything out for his bow tie yet, so, but it depends on what we do the bottom with. So same again, let's get the dog done first. So with the darkest, same as we did before, down where it would all be close to the ground. And a bit where the illustrator's put some bits in, round by his feet, in there. Bit under his chin, and it would also be dark where the cat's sitting, around his little legs. This one will be darker, that bit. So there's the dark one. And the next one, blend that in a little bit. Leave some highlights. So no highlight on his tummy this time because the cat is sat on there. But we can have a bit there. So then with the lightest one, blend that in a little bit. And we'll do him a dark nose. So let me pull out chestnut brown, do his nose dark. Like that. Just missed a little bit under there. There we go. So the cat is going to be grey and white. So for the white bit, I'm going to use the lightest grey, and I'm just going to do a bit of shading because white is never just white. So you do need a bit of shading to show on there, and as long as you leave some white, it should be fine. So let's do the dark one next. So he's going to be very dark in here, where his little legs are there, dark along his feet. Here. And on his face, it'll be dark just around here. Come up a little bit. I think I'll do a bit of dark around his nose and eyes, just under his mouth. And then do a bit of blending on that. Leave the smallest bit of white for some highlights. I'm going to do a bit darker down there, I think, under his bow, but really small. And then blend that out a little bit. So you might have a bit of dark around the edge there, I think. So green, if we do green, I might do the bow green as well. So I've got grass green and pale green. So dark where the dog is laying on it. And then we'll just blend that out with a bit of the lighter one. Like that. And then on his bow, do a bit of flick from the middle, that at the bottom, and a little tiny bit in the middle. And then so I'm going to do some highlights. I'm going to do a bit on his head. I'll do a bit on his bow as well. A bit on his nose. Top of his ear. Do a little bit there as well. There we go. Do a bit on the cat's ears, I think. A bit on his nose. There we go. So let me get these put away and we'll finish that off. Okay, so a little card base. Okay, I don't like his green bow tie, so I'm going to glaze over it with a bit of blue and see if it'll just tone it down a little bit. Yeah, I like that better. Okay. I just made it a bit tealy. I'm going to put some highlights back on it though. There we go. Okay, let's get this stuck. Okay, so let's find a sentiment that we like. What about happy birthday, cherish every moment? Oh. It's all right. Oh God, chaos. Okay. I think that's what we do. Happy birthday, cherish every moment. So let me cut that. Okay, so I had a change of heart and decided to go with an enjoy your day instead. I like that better. So let's get that stuck down. There we go. So there's our second card. So 2 cards from the same stamp. This is a Christmas stamp, but we've used it for birthdays. So that's it for this time. Thanks so much for watching. I'll catch you next time. Okay, bye.